The homepage of the Huffington Post put it this way this morning: no justice, and showed the faces of gun violence and also this: Senate kills background checks. Months of efforts aimed at fixing the nation's gun laws met an inglorious conclusion on the floor of the U.S. Senate on Wednesday. That absolutely every single measure the president supported: expanded background checks, a strengthened federal gun trafficking statute, limits on assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, all failed to receive the necessary 60 votes to prevent a filibuster. Bad news for the country, bad news for the president.
Terrible news, just all around. Very, very bad. And this, the background check portion of this had approval ratings, somewhere between 80 and over 90%, depending on what polls you looked at. So it's really hard to explain this from any sort of traditional democratic, demographic type of perspective. And I just think I think it really shows how dysfunctional the Senate has become. This was just basically one lobby group that was going after this. This was not a broad coalition of different interests. This was a single special interest lobby, the NRA, that was able to defeat this legislation.
Gabby Giffords has an amazing piece that's in the New York Times that I highly recommend everyone reads, but the end of her piece was the most powerful, where she says, "Mark my words, if we cannot make our communities safer with the Congress we have now, we will use every means available to make sure we have a different Congress, one that puts communities' interests ahead of the gun lobbies."
I think it's important to remember that the people who actually spoke on the Senate floor before this passed, who were speaking out against the bill, were, for the most part, spouting lies about what was included in the legislation. They couldn't even bring themselves to tell the truth about what was in the bill. There were multiple senators who got up and said this is going to create a federal gun registry database, and that is illegal. That is in the bill. There's a 15-year prison sentence that accompanies trying to create a federal gun registry database, which is itself a slippery slope argument. The NRA itself doesn't object to the gun database. They object to a federal gun registry eventually leading to the confiscation of some weapons for some people.
Is that implausible, though, Zach? I mean, is that entirely unreasonable to think that a universal gun registry could be used to create an enemies list, that it could be used to create a list of people to confiscate?
Right. Like, wouldn't it be great if we could go out and confiscate the guns that are owned by convicted felons or by the mentally ill? I mean, why would that be such a terrible thing? The people who voted against this bill have adopted this sort of legal theory of nihilism, that you just can't do anything to solve problems. And that indicates that things in Washington are much worse than we even thought they were.